Ooh, we're live. Hello.
Live.
You guys tell us.
Slime Time Live. Remember that show?
I've never watched that.
Yeah.
That's Nickelodeon.
It was Nickelodeon. It was
Well,
like their...
I can infer that's what it is based on the slime.
Slime. Remember when Nickelodeon did slime?
Don't they still do slime?
Not really.
YouTube took slime.
I don't know. Does Nickelodeon even do like events with like kids anymore and like having some kind of...
Yeah, don't they? I thought there was a show they brought back. They brought back a show.
To kind of give it that old...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know. I don't have cable.
Slime. We all need some more slime in our lives.
There's plenty of slime on YouTube, man. You don't need... YouTube doesn't need any more slime.
That also like figuratively too. There's a lot of slime.
Oh sure, yeah, just not literal slime, but just...
we try to
rise above the slime.
Rise above the slime
on YouTube.
That's a good
Rise Above the Slime
album name or something. Right.
Just a series. Anyway, that was a good little start right there.
Now I know your first question is probably...
what are we talking about live if you're listening to a podcast?
I was going to say you might be thinking, in the words of Swedish Chef, no masking?
Oh, if they're watching this, yeah. No masking.
Well, they have to be watching because we didn't record.
Oh, I thought you were recording. Oh.
You told me to wait until like...
Wait until we're ready to actually start? Okay. Well, then, forget this. I'm just talking to you guys. So hi to those who showed up, first of all, live. We got Diamond World. Been watching your stuff. Good work. Putting you out of time. Same there. Yeah. Isaac. And Incredi Car Studios or just Incredi Studios? Welcome, people who joined us live. I appreciate that. Like the title of this video says, we're going to be doing a podcast about Soul. We've done live podcasts each time a Pixar movie comes out, just a couple of times in a row. And then I thought, I guess that's a thing now.
So, I mean, they're easy to make and,
it's not hard and it's fun. We don't do live stuff much anymore. I liked doing it. We did the whole season of JP Squared. When it started, it was live.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
It has a fun vibe to it that you can only get through live.
Exactly. You can't,
vibing through live.
There's no cutting, Yeah. You always wondered, like, what's what's it like just to sit with you guys and not, what's all the cuts? What's all that about? Now you get to know. So anyway, we got comments coming in about our beards. We're not. We didn't address the no masking. We're fine. I trust this man is like family in our house, so that's And he hasn't been interacting with that many people, just a bunch, right? Just a lot more than me. So anyway, we're cautious. The last video we had masks to set a good example.
Right.
I hope you all follow it.
It was Christmas. It was the Christmas video, and
Christmas
we needed extra, nice points.
Yeah, we're worried about the nice points, but now since it's
nice
in
points
between,
online, but now we're in that what they call Christmas Lent or something like that, or whatever it's called,
Christmas and
like,
New Year's,
where Santa doesn't see.
Yeah, Santa won't see, so it's okay for now. So yeah, that's what that is. And now we're going to talk about Soul on the podcast. I don't have, to be very transparent with you guys, I don't have that much to say about it. We'll talk all about it. And if you haven't checked out our podcast before, we sort of review movies, but we like to just chat about what we've been watching.
It's not always topical. It once was, but
I do like the topical.
That takes more
episodes,
effort to.
But yeah, we have to plan those. So a lot of times it'll just be like, here's a movie we watched, and we're going to talk about it, and that's what this one is. So
yeah. How was our Christmas? It was good.
Yeah, what'd you get for Christmas? This totally before we start. We can't ramble too long because we have. I'll interrupt your nice Christmas conversation to say we have to keep this sort of on schedule because right afterwards we're going to do our Patreon game night. So if you want to hang out longer with us after this video, live stream, whatever is done, then you could just give any amount on Patreon, gets you invited to the live stream. So you could play games with us. We're going to play games.
Come with us.
So hi to everybody who just joined. Someone got a hoverboard. Oh, I forgot that hoverboards were real.
I mean, yeah.
Anyways, so
Christmases were good.
Yeah, my Christmas was good. I didn't get a hoverboard. I got new shoes, new socks. Guess how many socks I got, Jesse? You want to guess how many socks? Pairs of socks.
6.
More.
12.
More.
24.
Less.
Oh wait,
20,
I missed 18.
22.
I was trying to multiply by 6.
I got 22
so.
pairs of socks. I couldn't.
Actually, I guess you could say I was just doubling each one. So that still works. There was still a pattern.
There's still a pattern. You're better at that than I am. I got 22 pairs of socks, you guys. Most socks I've ever had in one Christmas.
I got piano socks. I haven't worn them yet. But
well, that's so appropriate. Should have worn them for.
You can't see them, but
the size of a piano. Does it go up?
No, I mean the size of a foot that's bigger than mine. I'll tell you that.
Oh, really? But socks are pretty one size fits most.
It was just a big sock. I was like, Dad, this is really big, but okay.
Maybe it's to replace your stocking.
I also got a rock from my brother that said "suck on this."
From The Office.
I
spoiled it because I didn't know.
The fans know where it's from if they know.
But if you don't, then you're like, what?
It was the best.
I'm glad you like that. Oh, I got We'll go back to this. We'll go back. We're gonna come back slightly to Christmas in the podcast. So for now, we're gonna start rolling on the podcast. Hey, welcome to Quest for the Best. And it's also live. So if you're watching this in a video form,
you know what just happened before we hit record.
I know. There's more to be seen.
More extra.
I know.
So hello to the podcast listeners.
And to the podcast viewers on YouTube.
So many things happening at once.
I know. It's going to be hard to keep up. My brain, I don't know if my brain can keep up, but I'll try to focus on one thing at a time. Yeah. The chat might not be the one thing I'm focusing on, so I'm sorry if I miss your thing. It's not personal. So yeah, continuing the tradition of this podcast, we are going to live talk about the latest Pixar movie, and that would be Soul. Soul.
Yep. Everyone all watched it on the same day, I'm pretty sure.
Everyone in the world had nothing else to do on Christmas.
Yeah. So
it came out Christmas on Disney.
Which is an interesting shared experience. Like, think of how many people were watching that right at the same time as, or at least
you would never know. I mean,
but it's still. I don't know. It's just interesting.
It's still weird that it's the same day. You think more than the theaters because a premiere of a big movie.
Sure. But did they? Was it released at one time for the whole world, or did it still go across the?
That's a good point.
Because I was thinking since it's on. I don't know. Yeah, did they release it earlier?
Who knows?
Because then you could have cheated and changed your location on the computer with hacks. So I don't know.
That's true. You could tell your computer you're on the East Coast.
If someone knows,
you
can comment that. Did they just make it live for everywhere all at the same time, or was it
as soon as midnight struck on
New Zealand?
In New Zealand,
I don't know. That's where the changes.
Where the earliest.
I think that's
New Zealand gets the first Christmas.
So I don't know. Actually, it doesn't make sense because half the world was in a different day, so they must. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is Soul was a movie that we watched.
Yeah.
We were we didn't watch it together. That was the original plan.
I did say, Jesse, we'll just watch this together because I know we're going to talk about it. And then he texted me and said I already watched it. Sorry.
I think I called you and said that. But anyway, yeah. No, my family wanted to watch it with me instead. Us
instead of me.
So I had
you leaving.
Yeah. So it was nice. I can't remember the last time I watched a Pixar movie for the first time with my entire family there. It might have been Toy Story 3. No, actually I think Inside Out, I think we were all there for that.
Well, this is an interesting sort of topic that I'm actually a little bit more interested in than Soul, the movie itself. Can we talk about just this year movies being canceled and moved online and all that?
Yeah.
I still went to the movie theaters because here in Arizona, a lot of them were open. The problem was there was nothing out. So you know what I was looking forward to the most? Quiet Place 2 got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
It was 1 week.
Thing at one point.
It was 1 week from coming out, and then everything got closed. So anyway, that was going to be for my birthday, but then it didn't. So there, like I said, a lot of theaters just didn't have anything to play, but I still went a few times they played old movies. So I watched Knives Out, and I watched Toy Story, the original. Like, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I like going to the theaters. I like the experience. Not that it was not even the same experience because there wasn't people there, which is fine. I feel safer, I guess. No one's gonna cough or sneeze on me, but I still like, you just wear a mask and you go and it's fine. I was fine. Yeah, so like I know that, and then there's a whole I don't know. I don't want to be controversial. Should I go to the theaters or not? No, it's not worth it. But I mean, I was doing my part to be safe and all that, and so yeah. Anyways, that was my experience. I went to the theater, and I would have gone to the theater to watch Soul. I don't think my whole family would have. My dad's not a big animation fan. He'll watch a Pixar movie if he knows it's Pixar, and that's what we're all doing. But that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
but he slept through this one. Didn't he?
He did, because he was at the comfort of his own chair.
We'll get to the actual viewing experience.
The viewing experience. Well, the viewing experience was pretty much the next thing I want to talk about.
Oh,
was there anything about just this year? Did you go to see movies?
It was weird that, I mean, no, I didn't see any movies since The Thing. But
we're not gonna use that
not
word.
The Thing, the movie The Thing. I have seen movies since I watched The Thing, but but so no, there was nothing. Obviously, really nothing that would make me want to go to the theater. Nothing that came out. I'm starting to miss just like the taste of popcorn.
The taste of popcorn.
But I know I could if I want to just go and just get popcorn or something. But
you could just walk in and buy popcorn without watching a movie.
Yeah.
Is that it? Go ahead.
Sorry
to interrupt.
No. So yeah, it's a little weird that I didn't go, and
besides popcorn, do you miss them?
Well, sure, but I mean, yeah, if there's a movie out that
right, if movies came out that you were excited about, like, okay,
so
if Quiet Place 2 said, hey, we're gonna go to the theaters and streaming online same day, what do you do? If it happened like in a couple months when there's there's still stuff out there, but they're starting to be safer and they're putting in precautions. Everybody knows what they're doing.
I think now I'm starting to I think I'm kind of okay with either one now. I don't know. I mean, they both kind of have a little bit of a good and bad. When you watch it in home, you can pause and go to the bathroom. You can, just depending on how you're doing it, you could be completely immersed in it and nothing. In a weird sense, you can almost have less distraction in a sense of you got it with your headphones on, and it's just right there, and watch
it inside your theater goggles. You put on a
virtual
reality headset.
I don't need it. I just I got a nice big computer monitor, and I don't know. I'm just watching.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I mean, I like going to see movies with friends and stuff. So I don't know. I guess to answer your question, I guess it would depend on maybe what movie it was. If it was a movie where, I mean, if it was a Pixar movie or just something that or a Marvel movie, I mean, I would go to theaters for that. So I think it's going to be a little bit of both, maybe, or something maybe maybe if I'm really excited about it, then I will. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what the next movie is I'm gonna go see in theaters. I don't know how long it's gonna take for things to kind of go back to when.
Right. That's the thing, is a lot of people are saying they don't know if things will be back to normal going to theaters, or if everything's gonna just change because they can make so much money not putting it in theaters. Why would they do that? It costs so much. It's hard to do. Yeah, so I am rooting for theaters to pull through and be somewhat the way they were, and I really hope that's what happens, because I love going to the theaters, and the thing is, they're not helping by making it so expensive. Anyways, let's take a second before we move on to talk about Soul, the movie, not the situation about it, and do we want to talk about things that people asked about?
Like
There's live audience for this episode, so let's say, have you ever seen a Pixar movie in IMAX, Jesse? Yes.
Yep.
We watched Toy Story 4.
4.
Yeah, we watched 4 in IMAX.
Oh.
3, I don't know.
Then yeah, that I've seen 3 and 4 in IMAX.
Oh, cool. Is there, are we going to talk about Lightyear? Yes. That's a topic to talk about. Should we do that now or later?
We can do it now.
Okay.
We're going to have to like splice in.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that. So I don't know how this is going to be edited yet, but anyway, so when that was announced alongside all this other stuff,
there's a lot of stuff.
In the morning, I saw it on my Facebook.
In the morning?
Well, I mean, whatever it was.
Okay.
Sorry, whatever. So yeah, I saw like my like our friend who he always posts things that are happening with movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I saw it on his page. And I just briefly looked like, oh look, a bunch of announcements. Okay, I kind of skimmed it, just. I saw the picture of Buzz, like that one shot of him, and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like Buzz. Yeah, I mean, like I saw it and I was like, that kind of looks like Buzz a little bit. Like, anyway, and then whatever, and then I just moved on. And then it was like later on, I was getting food, and then you called me.
Yeah, so I recorded that because I wanted this to be part of the podcast. I didn't know which podcast it'd be, so it's another level of weird that it's live, and now there's a cutaway scene in a podcast.
How does that work? We can't do it.
We can't do it on live. So live, I'm sorry if you are somebody that was just listening to this live recording later and then watched it so that you could have the good sound and the video. You're gonna have to pause the video.
Yeah, you'll have to pause the video to hear this
next clip. So here's a clip if you're listening to the podcast. That was Jesse learning about Lightyear. And I called him and ordering fish. How was your fish?
It was terrible.
Oh no!
Don't ever go to Pirates Fish and Chips.
I have been there, and it wasn't terrible.
I mean, not like, come on, it's not good.
It's not good. No, it's like desert fish.
It's the most like it's as fast food can get. You get your fried fish, and it's in a square tart form.
That's a fish.
It's just a fish.
A pirate's fish
square of fish. The breading that they used, like the batter and the bread was, it was kind of like crumbly, like just not in a really good way. It was more crumbly than crunchy, and then just not a lot of flavor. I mean, yeah, they provide you with sauce. I'm not a big sauce guy,
Yeah.
But I tried the sauce and it just it didn't help all that much. So just kind of bland in flavor and yeah. So sorry, Pirates Fish and Chips.
Pirates Fish and Chips did not sponsor this episode or sponsor any of us ever. I thought it was okay. Anyway, so yeah, fish. Lightyear.
People are probably wondering.
If you just joined us,
you heard me say it when I was getting food, but that was a part in the.
That was a part in.
Jonathan said, like, you have to tell us how it was.
The phone call, yeah. So I called Jesse while he was in line to order fish, and now, what did you think about Lightyear? I've had a month to think about it. I was really upset about Chris Evans because why? That makes no sense.
I mean, of course, that's the thing I don't like.
but with all those things said, I am pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be good. I wish it was Tim Allen because it makes sense for the same character to voice the person that the toy's voice.
Well, you made a good point. It's probably in that clip somewhere that, like, people aren't going for Chris Evans.
Right. Like, there's not like Chris Evans fans that are just like, I got to see Chris Evans in an animated movie. No, you go because it's Buzz. Buzz is just.
And Tim Allen is Buzz. So Buzz is Buzz. And like, it just. Like, I think they already had the character golden egg.
Yeah, I think it's just weird. It's just weird.
Like, just not.
I sort of am starting now to understand. Like, they want to distinguish the character a little bit more than like, this isn't the toy. This is something else, or distinguish the movie. Like this isn't a Buzz Lightyear.
Tim Allen, you would just keep seeing the toy the whole time.
The toy in your mind. I don't think so. I think the character is just as popular as, maybe even more popular than Chris Evans, the person. But what do I know?
And thing is, so if this movie is supposed to be the movie that's in the Toy Story universe, that
Sure, yeah,
like then wouldn't the toy have the voice of the guy from the movie?
that would make sense.
Like, how often does that not happen in the real world? Where like
Only sometimes, like Tom Hanks doesn't voice the toy.
yeah, but at least it's pretty. I mean,
I think
I'm
it's pretty
trying
common.
to hear what does Chris Evans sound like if he was doing Tim Allen's Buzz. Like,
I don't think he's gonna do Tim Allen's Buzz. I think he's just gonna be Captain America. He's just gonna give that kind of speech.
I mean, like, yeah,
he's not gonna do a deep voice where he talks like.
You don't think he'll like have it? I mean, he can. I know he can do that. Like,
yeah, is he gonna try to sound like Tim Allen?
I don't know.
I don't think he's gonna try to sound like Tim Allen. I think he's gonna do a different thing. So yeah, I don't know. And then it kind of just like discounts this Buzz Lightyear Star Command show and movie that I liked as a kid. So it's like that's what in my brain was the thing that is based on. It wasn't perfect, but it's good. The in-universe thing mostly makes sense, except for the aliens are in the show, which they wouldn't be because they're Pizza Planet toys. They're not Star Command Buzz toys, but it's fine. Like I understand why they did that because it's a character people recognize. Anyways, that was that. We'll have a lot more to talk about as more comes out, but I'm excited for it. I wish it was Tim Allen. The end. Is there anything else?
That pretty much says it all. It's like,
yeah,
like, and I think I said this in the clip, but like, you know, like even if it's like not great, like I hate to say it, but it's like I've already been let down now by
Toy Story,
like by
the character Buzz.
Yeah, like yeah,
yes,
and it's
Buzz can't get any worse.
They already warmed me up to like being disappointed.
Yeah,
like with my favorite characters or just you know Pixar in general. So it's like, all right, well, these are the times now. Pixar can make a bad movie, and I'm just like, I know that now. So it's like,
sure.
So
yeah, that's true. Ryan Reynolds fan wants to talk about Scoob.
Didn't we already?
We have talked a little bit. We talked to one of the animators of Scoob.
Not animators.
She's storyboard artist.
Yeah, check out our other podcast. We talked to her. Storyboard artist, and now she's working on
a TV show for Netflix. Guys, follow Kai.
Yeah,
if you haven't yet, go check out that previous podcast where we talk about Scoob and interview her and chat with her. That being said, though, Lightyear kind of gives me Scoob vibes, just with the name and the weirdness of replacing voices, like they replaced all the Scooby-Doo voices with famouser people. Yeah. People were mad about that, but I mean,
yeah, I know. Like
that, I sort of get because I mean, I don't like it, but like the voice actors,
like Hollywood is just they don't like to hire voice actors, really good voice actors. Like they feel like they gotta just get a name in there, like. But
right,
it's just funny.
I thought that was weird. We need Zac Efron. Not he was Fred, right? Anyway,
yeah.
There's a lot of weird casting. It's like, why do that? People aren't going because they want to hear that voice. They're going because they want to see those characters that they know already. If you're doing a character that already exists, just take the person if they're still alive. Do it. Anyway. Enough about Soul. Scoob.
Enough about Soul.
We haven't talked about Soul. Enough about Scoob and Lightyear. Scoob and Lightyear. Soul, Jesse. You said you watched it with your family. I'll before we get into what it's actually about and the movie itself. My viewing experience was probably not as pleasant as yours. It was okay. I was at my parents' house. And we were going to go home and watch it. And then I said, that's what we're going to do. And my mom said, we can watch it here. And I said, okay, we'll all watch it here at their house. They have a nice TV and they have really good surround sound. Sorry, everybody, I bumped this mic. So that was great. And we had almost enough seats for everybody. My brother was sitting on the floor, but my dad's cousin was there and she's a goofball. So like, that was okay. But we start watching the movie. I'm like, everyone quiet. Like the movie's on now. And we get 15 minutes in. He just crashed through into the other world, into the other realm. And then he like lands and then the cat knocked over, not in the movie, in our home. My sister's cat knocked over a cup of water on the table. So we're like, what? Something's spilling. There's water splashing. People are getting up. People are talking. And meanwhile, they're explaining what this whole world is. So I was like, pause it. You guys are missing, like, this is important. Like, I'm pretty sure they just explained what this world is. So you need to pause. So we paused it. They cleaned up the mess from the cat. And then people came back and I was like, okay, let's just rewind it like a minute because that was important and I missed that. We tried to rewind a minute, but it goes to the very beginning. Oh, what? And then so my dad's like trying to fast forward back to that point, and then it goes, and now we see the movie in the little box below skipping through. And I was like, no, I covered up my head. I don't want to see the end of the movie before I watch the beginning. So it was not great. And so I was like, my dad was getting frustrated. He couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, I don't know your remotes. You guys got like, he's got like 10 remotes. I don't know how to work them. And I wasn't about to figure out. So I told my sister, just like, you do it. And so she tried to get to that part, but was like jumping back and forth around it. And then it's like, we'll just watch it from here. So we watched him fall through again. And from there, we pretty much figured it out. There were less interruptions from then on, but we watched it, and my dad's cousin was chatty, and I think that's the thing about watching stuff at home.
To the movie or just to people?
To all of us about the movie, usually like, this is weird. What are they smoking? Like, what kind of
just
like
commentary?
Yeah, just commentary, sporadic, frequent commentary. And it was okay, but like I'm trying to hear what they're saying and I'm missing stuff now. And when you're at home, people think it's okay to talk. That was bothering me. That's one thing I like about going to the theaters. With even you can bring your whole family. Sure, it costs a fortune. Okay, but everybody knows you don't talk. So like, anyway, so that was pretty much my experience. And then maybe like another 15 minutes later, my dad fell asleep and his snoring was kind of loud. He told me later, he's like, that movie hurt my throat. It's like because he snored so much. It wasn't that he was bored. He just, when he's watching a cartoon, he decides he's not interested. He just would go to sleep. So.
And then you said he woke up and said,
"Oh yeah, no,
he
woke. Yeah, he woke up like almost like it was close to the climax. Like it was almost over, and then he's like, "Man, I'm tired. I need a nap." I'm like, "What? You just took like an hour nap?" And he's like, "No, I was asleep for like 5 minutes." Like, "No, you missed this whole movie. Sorry." So yeah, that was our experience. Okay. That kind of picture that overshadowing my whole viewing experience. I'll probably watch it again, but I haven't yet. How about you?
Mine was not as bad.
Better.
As that. Yeah. Everyone was, respectful of the movie etiquette, I guess. The funny thing is maybe like I said a couple things here and there, like just when it seemed like there was a quick little like moment, I was like, is that the voice of, blah, 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 or whatever? Like,
is it John Ratzenberger? That's the only time I talk in a movie is if I say Pizza Planet. Well,
of course I say
A113.
Of course I said Pizza Planet.
John Ratzenberger. Yeah.
They all missed it, and I was like, oh, it is like right there.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious one. Plus, they weren't trying to hide it, and we've seen it in a trailer before, and it popped up. It's popped up.
I kind of forgot.
I didn't even watch. I should say that I didn't watch any trailers for Soul on purpose because it's not one that I'm like dying to watch.
Right. So,
but it'd be cool to be completely surprised. So I only watched the teaser trailer, and that's it. But because I follow Pizza Planet truck hashtags and stuff to try and find my truck, I saw where it was because it was in a trailer and somebody posted it.
Oh, okay. So, so we watched it at my parents' place. And the screen was pretty nice. I mean, it's a decent size. It was a little like it was funny. Like sitting there watching it, it was funny because it reminded me of all the dreams I always have. Like anytime a Pixar movie's coming out and I have dreams of watching it, it's always like or any movie I'm excited for, really, but it's usually like a Pixar movie. Yeah. I always have dreams where like my watching experience is like bad. Like I'm either in a place that's not a movie theater, like a school classroom, and they're like projecting it like on the wall, and I'm and I'm trying to watch it and enjoy it. Yeah. Or like weird, or like yeah, like there was one that was very similar. It was like we were watching it at home, like whatever it was, and like yeah, it was just kind of projected on the wall, and like people were kind of talking,
and it
I was
feels
like,
wrong because it's like this is the movie that I'm supposed to be watching in the theater and I'm not.
yeah,
Like yeah, no,
and
yeah.
the times where my dream at least has the courtesy of putting me in a theater, something is just weird with the theater, like a giant like
Yeah.
a giant beam is like you know
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a pillar, like a
I
pillar
had
is like in front of like the
yeah.
screen, or like or this or like there was one where like the theater was like the screen was like to my side, like I'm sitting like this and the screen's like over here.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, no,
oh
I
my
had a
goodness.
dream like that before Toy Story 4 came out. It was like I'm watching this for the first time, but we're in like a Coliseum theater, and the screen is round in the middle, and I can't see all of it. Like just weird stuff. Yeah,
Do you guys get dreams like that
yeah.
about movies you're
About
excited to
you're
watch?
excited to watch a movie,
And
and
then
now
like
it plays in front of you, but you don't want to watch it because it's wrong somehow.
so it reminded me of that,
Yeah,
like the sunlight was, you know, kind of, you know, you can see the reflections a little bit on the screen. I'm like, okay, whatever, like it's fine.
you have to live with that.
Yeah. So that was my viewing experience.
Okay, on to the movie.
Now
There's a tiny bit, but
movie.
there's controversy. Controversies in the comments. Controversies. Controversies happening. Is John Ratzenberger in Soul? I think so. Pretty sure he is, because why would he not?
I'm sure he is.
I thought I heard him in the guy in the subway that yells at him, "Hey, watch it."
Could be.
Which is, it would make sense because it's one line, and that line also plays a little bit of a part in the plot, so it's nice.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Maybe someone can find that right now.
Somebody find out where it is for real.
It's a Pete Docter movie. Like it's not like it's some new director. He's like, I don't want to, you know,
continue.
I don't want to do your guys' tradition. No, I'm sure he's there.
Yeah.
So
you can somebody take a look and credit their source. Okay. Maybe it's a mystery, but the other things were easy to find. Yeah, whatever. We talked about that. Now the movie, Jesse.
Now,
give me your thoughts about the movie.
It was one of my favorite intros, the Disney logo. I was like,
because that fit exactly what I was doing right there. It was like I'm sitting at home and here's the Disney movie.
So I was like, okay.
I liked that.
I gave that one a clap. I was like, good job. That was good.
I like that.
So
that
was a good, it set the mood pretty well. I was like, it got me excited. Like, hey, I like this already.
I thought that, that Disney theme intro was just like, I mean, it was perfect, but it was more perfect because here we are watching it on the couch.
It was perfect for 2020. I wonder if they went back later and like, let's maybe imagine like they originally had it all like nice.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know. But
yeah. I don't know.
So that was good. Of course, you guys know I'm a musician and I play the piano and and I like.
He plays gigs. I like you guys.
Yeah, I do gigs anyway from time to time, but I'm not like super jazz musician. I mean, jazz is such a broad term. I definitely like jazz. Like I like throwing a little bit of jazz into everything, but that classic kind of jazz that people think of, you know, like that's in this movie. Like I don't really. I mean, I couldn't even play that if I wanted to, but so anyway, but so like the first 20 minutes or whatever minutes it was of the music, I was like, can the movie just be all this? I'm totally fine with music. Just in the movie, just being like, just being watching this guy gig and stuff, and like just being about the music life. I'm like, I am totally cool if this whole movie was just this, like just a movie about music and musicians.
Sure.
I was like this. So but I was like no, it's gonna change soon. Just
just wait for it.
I was like, okay, well, I'll enjoy it while it lasts. And yeah, I love the animation. Me and my brother were just like, really impressed with like just because like it's not motion capture and just like, and of course
every note's right.
Of course every note is right.
You know they do that. Like they did that since Coco. They did it before. Like of course they did.
Yeah. So like it was that was just really beautiful to watch.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah. And then the Soul stuff happens, and
yeah. Well, Nim Productions said he or she, I don't know, lost a little bit of interest when he became a Soul.
I know. Well, and yeah, like I'm sure, like, because my dad's
He's
also like a
also a
musician and
musician.
stuff. And at
Yeah,
first I was like, oh, this might be a good one.
that
Like
he'll
we all
like
watched it
too. You
together.
guys are gonna like
But
it
I was
too.
like, oh man, as soon as it goes to the soul stuff, like my dad's gonna just, he didn't like. I mean, he was fine, whatever. He watched the whole thing, but I could tell,
Gonna
like,
stop caring.
yeah, I could tell, like, he doesn't really care about this Disney. Now it's just a Disney movie, like,
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, it would have just been cool to sit and watch a movie about music, like with my dad here, because we don't watch movies often, because there's not a whole lot that our likes don't always overlap. He likes, of course, anything with music, and he likes, like things with, he likes mafia movies or some kind
Those
of crime,
overlap.
things that are more based in reality, like,
Mhm.
so
Sure.
not fantasy and
Not soul.
not Avengers and all that.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a lot of stuff, yeah, he just doesn't care about. He likes a little bit of sci-fi. He likes time travel like me, so he liked
Okay.
Inception and things.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, once it goes to the soul stuff, it's like, all right, well, I'm sure he doesn't care about this now as much.
Mhm.
But anyway, and yeah, I guess for me too. But
Uh, before, can I interrupt your thought?
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
okay? Well, the John Ratzenberger mystery is not solved. He hasn't. It's not confirmed where John Ratzenberger is. Thank you, Brian, for finding the Cinema Blind article. A lot of other people are giving good guesses.
That's funny.
So yeah, it shouldn't be hard because people can watch it a billion million times. I'm sure. Maybe Crazy Nate knows. Anyway. Yeah, ask him.
It's weird that it's just not. Has he never been credited, like, in the movie? Like,
Oh no, he's always credited.
You can't just go to the end and see where he is. Like,
See what he's called.
Was
if
he
he's
that
soul
hidden?
number 3 or
Did
whatever.
he really want to be that hidden this time? Because yeah, why don't you just
Weird.
jump to the credits and look for it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Another mystery.
Maybe he's too busy doing.
What is he doing?
Cameos.
Cameos. No, like actual cameo.com.
Yeah,
cameo.com. This is a cameo.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Anyway, so yeah, I decided pretty early on, like when I heard what the movie was about, that it's like, okay, you're gonna have to suspend your disbelief for a while. Like I'm not gonna check the theology of this movie and see like what's right or wrong about what happens to souls. I'm not gonna, like, they're not even gonna touch it. And I thought, I did a bit of research to try and find out, like, what the beliefs are of the people that worked on this movie. And Pete Docter has said in the past that he's a Christian, so I could kind of pull out, like, just from watching it and thinking about that, like, I think I can tie in, some of like some morals that might come out of it, but they're not like specifically Christian beliefs in this movie, like hardly at all.
Yeah.
And that's the way I think a Pixar movie obviously should be. They're not gonna, like, I don't want Pixar to make a Christian movie. That would be terrible. And secondly, I don't want to go to a Pixar movie to inform my faith. That's another thing. I'm not going there for that. So like, I thought it did a good job of creating another interesting world. My thoughts, like, while watching the movie, were basically like, well, I can picture this happening. He's making Soul, Pete Docter and the whole team, and then they're like, this is cool.
He's making Inside Out.
Thank you. He's making Inside Out. Thank you. And then he writes down, like, this is cool, but this isn't this. Like the worlds were like parallel to Inside Out. It's like, this is like getting personalities. That's like not the same as building an island out of what you're interested in. They're called personality islands, but it's really just like common interests that are all bunched together to make a personality trait or something. So I feel like a lot of the ideas were just like, whoop, here we go. We're going to take it from here and use it in something else. We'll use that later. That's kind of how it felt. It was and then I said to my mom afterwards, like, I feel like they took Inside Out and just like, okay, you cool with that? You track me through here. Let's turn the philosophical up like a little notch.
Yeah.
Like, let's just crank it up a little. And we can follow them through there. Like, if they couldn't have done this movie without first doing Inside Out. I feel like it's just too weird.
Yeah, you had to like warm us up to that, like,
yeah,
like a little stepping stone there,
right? So Inside Out, also really weird. but it's less weird, I think, because we're not talking about this like the emotions are characters, and this time it's the same character, but before they're even born, and so interesting stuff. I thought it was cool. I need to watch it again with less distractions. I'll admit. What else, Jesse?
So
liked or disliked?
Well, I'll get to the So first, I'll just say, like, I like the design of the Soul World. That was, I like that.
Give me some Teletubby vibes.
A little bit.
The pastel colors didn't help with that, and I could tell my dad was like, "Oh, I can't watch this. It's weird." Like I was getting that feeling from him, like, "Oh, he's not gonna like this. It's too weird." And then I didn't have the same thing because his cousin was like, "That's weird." Like, okay.
Well, if you want to stop hitting that,
I was an accident.
Well, you put it in such a weird place. It's kind of inevitable.
My mic is inevitably gonna get hit.
I like the Jerry characters. I like their design. It was just really fun to watch them move around. I thought that was just a really unique way to make a character. Like they're like 2D. They're like 2.5D or something. It's really cool. I like how I like when Terry was walking up steps, which is really just it's just weird.
Yeah, like she stepped up there, but it was part of their body.
It's just, so that was just really fun.
Just a weird squiggly line.
Yeah, very imaginative. And okay, so I guess I'll get to the main thing.
Main thing?
As soon
as main thing. Jesse's main thing.
Yeah. As soon as he went inside the cat, I was like, "Oh, we're doing this." Body swap, I was like, and at first I was like, "Is this like just a sequence?" And then I was like, "Oh, nope, this is the majority of the movie." Swapping the bodies. Well, I mean, sort of. Basically, it's it's basically a body swap. But I was like, okay. I couldn't help but do a little bit of an eye roll, just okay, a guy in the animal body.
Yeah.
Cool. So
kind of tired of that, but I couldn't think of a better way to do what they had to for the plot, if that made sense.
Yeah.
I didn't spend that much time thinking about it.
I mean, I thought about it later. I was like, could they have just had his just have him in soul form, following her in his body, or
like a ghost following him around?
Yeah, almost just like a ghost, talking to her or something.
Or like Venom, he's in his head
instead of being in the cat. But now I also didn't really watch any trailers except maybe that first one. So I don't know if there was a trailer that showed him in the cat.
I don't think so.
Because I don't know if any of the trailers showed that, because I know that that was kind of the main thing.
You see the cat in a lot of the marketing stuff, so the cat's kind of important. But
so I didn't know anything about that. So I was genuinely surprised, or didn't know that was going to happen. And I couldn't help but just be like, okay, I'm not loving this mechanic very much, but sure. I've just I don't know, the body swap thing, the person in the animals, it's I think it's been done enough times, and I'm done laughing at it. I thought maybe it was just gonna be that one little sequence or something. It would have got maybe a quick little laugh, but I was like, okay. But I understand she had to be in the. I know that was the main.
She has to live a life to know that life is worth living.
Yeah. I liked her character. Okay, I mean, I liked her introduction and stuff, and she was pretty.
That was good. Yeah, it was a good introduction, and she was a good character. I liked the character. I'll tell you my favorite though. The whole thing was just Terry. She's just hilarious, and she's the same exact character as she is in Hunt for the Wilder People. If you haven't seen Hunt for Wilder People, it's on Netflix, and it's probably my favorite movie of the year, and it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I never knew about it. It's funny, and she's the same exact character.
Yeah.
She's hunting down the main character. She could just be in any movie at all, hunting down the main character, and I'll like the movie. That's we just need
add her to every movie.
It's
hunting down the character.
Rachel Holmes. If she just add her in any movie hunting down the main character, I'm gonna like it. So she's my favorite. She's like the Terminator. She's relentless. It's good. I liked her voice, and I like her in both movies. She was the same character. So I was just happy. That was a happy surprise. I had been into Hunt for the Wilder People this last few months. I was just like really enjoying thinking about it, and watched it twice. And then when it's her voice, it's like, hey, it's the Child Protective Service lady. Like, I'm so happy she's back. So it's like I was just happy to. It's like it's a nice surprise. Like I get to hang out with this character some more. It's like the same character that I know. So she was my favorite, and just her design was super cool. I liked. Yes.
Yeah. And the guy, the sign spinning guy, he was interesting.
Is somebody the actor that you know?
No. I was just thinking of like I was just naming other characters, like what I thought about them. But I mean, I liked that. They definitely. I liked a lot of the ideas that they did. I liked the being in the zone. How they interpreted that. That was one of my favorite parts, was just showing that.
And that's the best example of is basically an Inside Out idea that didn't get used, is what I feel like.
Yeah.
Like the zone, like that's cool. You're in the zone, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like how he interprets. Yeah, same thing he did with Inside Out. Take a phrase we all know, and it's like, oh no, it's literally this thing. That's what happens.
That's what it looks
I know
like.
he likes to do that, and he does. Yeah. So I like how he showed that, and same thing with the losing your soul, or is that the word? What's the phrase they used?
A lost soul.
Just like a lost soul. Like when you're when you just you sold your soul to something basically, and you're just like
you're self-absorbed into this thing. They didn't sell your soul to anything.
No, they didn't.
But I mean, yeah.
But that was a good concept too. They had some good concepts in here. I mean, I like that scene too. And the guy's just like, "What am I doing in my life?" There was
that was in the trailer.
It was decently funny, I would say. Like there was some good funny parts. There were some parts where I was almost surprised that I was like, that felt like a SpongeBob joke. like when they I'm forgetting the main character's name. Joe or Joel?
Joel. Not
Joel.
Joe Gardner.
Just Joe. Okay, yeah. Like when him and her fall down that hole, and then
Find you, Joe Gardner.
And then what's his name just turns around and whistles and walks away or whatever. Yeah. Just there was a couple parts there, just a very
that
SpongeBob-ish, cartoonish.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
What's his name?
The
orange guy. What's his name? George Sanderson.
Yeah.
throws his partner in. Now I'm hitting your mic. Anyway, so yeah, no, I mean Pete Docter did that joke, but it's still funny. Yeah. Something crazy happens, they get rid of somebody and they just whistle and walk away.
Speaking of things they did before, so well, of course, it also reminded me a little bit of Coco. Like, didn't we just do a movie about the afterlife? I'm like,
this is not the afterlife.
Okay, you're right. It's not the afterlife. It's similar.
And the during life realms.
It kind of showed. I mean, them being on that pathway to the afterlife. Just that in general reminded me of Coco,
a little bit Coco-y.
But and also the revelation at the the end, the kind of the main message reminded me a little bit of Up, just as far as
sure,
when you realize when it's all these little things in life, that was life, that is life, that's. I was like, okay, I think I learned that lesson from Up, but there's more to it in this. It's and Up had to do with
his relationship with his wife, they had a good life together. They had their adventure.
It wasn't about
purpose, your own, and neither really was. So I mean, Soul talked about those themes, but it was,
and that was, I like that revelation too, about how your spark isn't your purpose. I like how they taught that
right. Right. It's the thing people mess up a lot, and then I think that's kind of what like I was saying, the Christian perspective on your purpose in life and your soul, meaning isn't the thing that you're passionate about, but that's the whole that's the whole thing I was trying to explain.
Yeah. I liked how when you got back and he still did the gig, because I was wondering is he gonna give up on this gig or no? He does it, and he gets to have that moment, and there's nothing wrong with it, and he gets to he gets to enjoy the passion of the music and all that, and because there's not that was still something he deserved, or the lesson wasn't nah man, just walk away. It wasn't that wasn't
dreams aren't important.
Yeah, it wasn't
it was more they're not.
It wasn't the only thing.
That's not the only thing in life is your dream.
Yeah, I like that fish analogy in the ocean. That was pretty profound. I wonder if like who
How far
actually
back does
wrote
that go?
Oh, I was just gonna say like, who
Oh,
came
so
up
one
with
of those two.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the I watched to sort of try to feel prepared for talking about it. I watched some short interviews with Pete Docter and Kemp Powers is the other director, and it kind of felt like they like split it up, like all of the Earth stuff. Kemp, you get this, like the jazz and the barbershop and all Earth stuff. Like you kind of are in charge, like you're the expert here on Earth. Pete Docter is the expert on the weird
on the
hypothetical worlds that yeah. So that's kind of how it felt by watching those. And so yeah, I feel like they made a good team together. Like that's pretty much almost our
yeah,
time, but go ahead.
No, yeah. So like did you no, so I think I guess overall like this was one of those Pixar movies where I know I'll watch it again, like so I already know it's better than like, you know, the ones where
you don't ever want to see them
where
again.
yeah, like yeah. So I don't know, like I didn't actually go through and like, you know, rank them all again now and put it exactly where it goes, but it's, you know,
I haven't gone through and ranked it in my mind, but I think I put Soul above all the Pixar movies I don't like, but below the ones I really like. I think it fits in my, if I was ranking them and rating them, I'd put it sort of along the unnecessary sequel area. Like they're good, but it's not my favorite. They're around there. They're next to Dory and Incredibles 2 and
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's the same for me. It's like
I like it a lot.
Finding Dory is like a movie where like I don't know when I'll ever be in the mood to watch it again, but I can see myself watching it again. And then you have ones like Coco, which I don't think I'll ever really feel like watching again, or Cars 3 or Cars 2 or like. But this one, you know, I can see myself like wanting to watch it, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably about around that same area.
Sure. Yeah. I thought that with Soul, I kind of thought afterwards, like I like the Pixar movies better when they're a little more like straightforward, like easy to understand. We got Nemo, we got Toy Story, we got, you know, it's just like this is what it is. Here it goes. It's in chronological order. Nobody switches bodies or loses, you know, they die or whatever. I don't have to think philosophically about this, but I think he does a good job of, you know, the whole team for Soul does a good job of making the story make sense. It's sort of super high concept, and I like the less high concept ones.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was like, can Pixar, can they truly really ever make something like you know,
the old
the older
days?
I mean, for one thing, like there's just nostalgia too. Like, will we really ever see a Pixar movie as like to us that will be as good as, you know, Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo and like those, or is, you know, is that just not really possible because we didn't watch when we were kids? But also, like, can they make a movie that's? Because I'm thinking about it, like, you know, what did I love about those, you know, the classic Pixar's, like, you know, of course they were great storytellers, but I just the worlds that they built were like, and, you know, and they were like simple, but like, you know, here's the world of toys and like let's see what, you know, what does life mean for toy, you know, I mean, you know, what kind of what do toys do for adventures, like, or whatever, like, and what happens to, you know, and and then, you know, bugs and ocean creatures, and you know, like it was like a trend for a while, and then but now I just think there's just so many other animated movies that like it's hard to stand out.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, like, yeah, like, I don't know. So it's like they're almost forced to make them more and more like deeper and like just to try to stay like
now,
like, you know,
nowadays,
this is a Pixar movie because
nowadays Pixar movie means it's really profound and it's for like,
and it'll make you cry, and it's like
cry.
And like I know those were always good things about Pixar, like story and stuff,
But those things weren't there at the very, very beginning.
Okay, we did just have Onward, which did have a
Which
nice
had a
world.
lot
It
of
had
those
that.
things,
It
yeah.
had that thing of like this
Mhm.
world of these guys, and yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
I thought that too. Like, well, I just had Onward, and that was pretty close to what I like about Pixar movies. So yeah, we're running out of time. Sorry. I was thinking we would do some wrap up of the end of the year things. We kind of talked a little bit about that at the beginning here, but
well, last thing I would say
Soul
is
talks
it
more,
was
takes more
funny.
time.
Like a couple days later, or whatever,
Mhm.
we went to Goodwill, and well, it's funny because like after the movie, I was like,
It was the next day,
As
Jason.
it was okay. I forgot. As I was watching, I was thinking like oh, you know what's
Who wants a toy of Joe Gardner?
that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I,
oh, yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, I was like, they probably aren't really gonna make many toys from this movie. Like, how often does that happen? Because I was like, like most Pixar movies or really any Disney or like it's kind of meant to also be a toy too, or it could be a toy. And I was like, what toys would they really make? You can't really have a toy of Joe Gardner because like, and then there we are at Goodwill. I'm like, what? It's a Joe Gardner soul toy, just like him in his soul form. I was like, that is such a stretch. Like,
what a fast turnaround then.
Hey, come on, kids! Don't you want to play with Joe Gardner and his soul and play as him trying to figure out what his purpose in life is? I'm like, you can't just make a toy like just because it's in a movie.
I think that was was a McDonald's toy, the one you found, for one, and two, it's more just like they're just collectibles at that point.
I know. I guess it's the same thing with like Carl Fredricksen.
Who wants a Carl Fredricksen? That's why they never made very many Up toys.
Yeah, because like it just doesn't.
Kids don't want to play with the house with balloons.
Yeah, like
kids will play with the balloons.
Like the kids aren't going to recreate Carl's adventures. I don't think so.
I think some will.
I'm an old man and my wife and like
my wife died.
But it's just so funny.
Yeah, they're good. They make good movies with characters like that, but they're not good toys, and they're not things people want to go like be for Halloween or whatever. It's just like yeah, it's interesting.
At least he wasn't in human form, just like
I saw one.
But I wouldn't be surprised. But you're right.
A friend on Instagram, one of you guys, friend on Instagram, one of you, I'm not sure who it was. I saw with the Joe Gardner action figure, and I thought that's a conversation we just had.
But then, like, is there a line between like action figure and then just like model, just like a figurine of like
he's a collectible?
Like just like a model of the of the character, I guess. Like I don't know. I thought that was funny. So
not a fun action figure. Sorry. Does he have? He has piano playing actions. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So that about wraps up our podcast because I don't want to keep you podcast listeners too long. You actually had a couple extra minutes of us talking on the phone about Lightyear, so you got.
That's true.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up the podcast. We always end by learning something. What do you learn from Soul, Jesse, about filmmaking? Not usually about philosophical things or your purpose in life, but maybe you learned that. Did you learn that?
Not really.
Okay, good. Don't go to animated
line up
movies.
with my beliefs 100%.
Not exactly, but yeah.
What lesson did I learn from this one?
You could pass if you don't have anything.
I might have to.
One last thing, it's not really a lesson, but I think it stuck out to me. I decided as the movie was going through, like, there's going to be the part in this Pixar movie where I'm going to want to cry. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to cry. I want to this time. And so the scene comes when you're supposed to cry. And I wasn't going to cry. It was sad. I was so sad I almost cried. No, but then there's a scene and you're seeing shots of just nice things from his life that he just took for granted. Basically, his feet in the sand was one of them. And then Peter, my son, turned to my mom and he said, "Hey, Grandma, I found a shell at the canal the other day." Like, that made him think of that. And then I put it back because I found a bigger one, and I took that one home. And she's like, "Cool." And that conversation plus the music that was playing in the movie, that made me cry because it's like, Peter gets it. He doesn't get this movie, but I think he gets the point of the movie a little bit better than any of us else that was watching, because like that is super cool. You found a shell, man. Like that's awesome. Like you have a great life. So that was
cool.
that was sweet. So yeah, it's just one of those nice movies that makes you stop and appreciate things better. So that's a great thing that should be in the world. Not like
I agree.
2019's contribution to the Pixar universe did not help me feel good about the world. Anyways, it's not an episode unless we diss Toy Story 4. So thanks for joining us on the podcast. You guys who are live, we'll stick around for another couple of minutes, but we actually have to go over and play a game with our patrons. And by have to, I mean we get to. So if you want to join us, go to Patreon. And the lesson that I learned was you can make cool, unique characters if the movie is weird enough. And I want Rachel House to be in whatever movie I make, hunting down the main character.
There it is,
yeah,
right
that's
there.
what it is. I want Rachel House to hunt down the main character.
As we slowly, combine all of our lessons to make the perfect movie after all this.
Yep.
She's gonna be
Rachel House is a character hunting down the main character.
Yeah.
Oh man, this movie's coming together. I don't know what it's about, but maybe one day I'll listen to 50 hours of podcasts. I'll just skip to the end.
Jump to the end.
I'll just skip to the end where we learn a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm writing them. I should say.
You should have been
if one of you guys on there live or who are listening just today for the first time, if you have 50 hours to spare,
can you jump to the end of every one of our?
Yeah, will you jump to the end of all of our podcasts, write down what the lesson was, and then send me that list because I didn't do that work. I should have been doing it from the beginning.
Mail you a thing.
Not a soul thing. I'll mail
like
you
a JP,
like a JP and Beyond merch. Sure.
Got to up the ante a little bit.
Okay, if somebody makes that,
The first
person to send me a list of all the things we learned from every podcast episode, you can get a thing. I don't know if it's a sticker or something. Cool.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Teeny, 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 teeny. That's not the end credit music, is it?
Oh wait, I don't need to talk that anymore.
You don't have to talk in that anymore.
Weird.
I know. So, like I said, move over to Patreon and play. What do you want to play?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna ask the others who join. But for now, what do you want to talk about? Really quick, fast, lightning round stuff. Hi to everybody who joined, Trainmaster and Ryan Reynolds, the Ryan Reynolds fan. I'm not seeing any super.
I saw someone say that it was confirmed that they asked her to be just like her Hunt for the Wilder People.
I think, yes, that was Brian's. Good. That's what I would have asked. We talked about skipping an episode of the podcast, so you should go back. I think, when was that? Earlier this year, because that was one that was supposed to be in the theaters, but it went to my TV screen instead.
And
Jesse fell asleep watching Scoob.
I'm so sorry.
He has to apologize, not to me. Apologize to Kai for interviewing her about a movie that she made. She made this movie. You pretended to have watched it. That's what while you interviewed her.
Did we do the podcast before we watched it?
No. Why would we have done that?
I don't remember.
No, because we talked about it. And then after we hung up,
I guess you're right.
After we hung up with the podcast ended, she said, okay, what do you really think about it?
I remember that.
Yeah. So,
okay, you're right.
Which I said pretty much what I really thought about it in the podcast. But I did also say my favorite part was when they redid the intro of the old Scooby-Doo with 3D. And she said that was her idea. So, so that's cool. All right. Do I want to work on Ryan Reynolds' comic book? I got a comic book that I have to work on myself.
Yeah,
but I'll
for the next episode.
I know I will do it. I just need my friends to come back to town so I can go to their library again. And if you send me yours, I'll read it if you want. Cool. All right. I don't think kids will think Soul is boring. Except, I will tell you.
No, you got to say what Peter said.
Peter told me. So this should have been in part of the podcast. But we're driving home on Christmas. Oh, after we watched Soul, my mom said, I want to watch your Christmas JP and Beyond episode, JP Squared episode. I know the name. Because she hadn't seen it yet. And I said, okay. So they watched that. My dad's cousin said, you're super funny, but you talk too much. That's what she said.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
So that's cool. But we were driving home, and we asked Peter, "What did you think of the movie? The Christmas movie?" No, Soul. What Soul? What? The movie we just watched with piano player and all that. I don't know. I didn't watch that. Like, yes, you did watch that. You were there with us. You watched the whole thing. It's like, oh, I don't remember that. You don't remember the movie we just watched? I was more worried not about that Scoob wasn't like like not Scoob, that Soul. I wasn't worried about Soul being like not memorable. I was worried about him like something wrong with you. He was awake, so like
That's funny.
I don't know. So yeah, maybe it wasn't interesting to a 4-year-old, but I thought that the what are those? The dead souls? The lost souls? A little on the too scary side. But it was PG, right? PG?
It must have been because they kept saying hell.
Oh yeah. You can say hell in G, right? No, maybe not.
Is there a limit? They said it like 15.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was like little kids saying it.
Anyway, yeah. That's that. Join us on Patreon. If you have like $1 or maybe $2, you can play this game with us. I don't know what we're gonna play, but I hope you will. Thanks for coming. Thanks for chatting. Hope to talk to you guys soon. You can find us on the internet, not just
Happy
on
New
YouTube.
Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Hope you guys enjoy your New Year's. Stay safe and healthy.
See you on the other side.
Yeah. Bye. Now the button. Boop.